Welcome back, grade 12s, to the second part of this presentation. The presentation is about, the topic is about those 6 factors that can contribute to the success or the failure or to a particular form of ownership. We have done already 4 of them. There's still 2 to be done. I just want, before we move over to the last 2, I just want to say to you that there were some questions that learners come up with, and they would like us to tell them about certain, what is certain topics, or let me say certain essay type questions. Now, very, very important is to answer that question very fairly to each and every. We don't know what will be the essay type questions. Very, very important that I want to say to you is every single topic, content topic, sub-content topic, you must see it as a possible essay type questions. Now, very, very important is a clue that I can give you at possible, at how the different content can be possible content topics. Go as far back as 2008 and look at your section C questions. Then you will see that over this period of many years, maybe 6 years, 5 years, the past 5 years, this is what they have asked. Then you will see and you will understand my reason why I say to you, we cannot tell you specifically this will be and this will be. And the only reason that we can give to you is, or let me say explanation, is see every or treat every content topic as a possible essay type question. On the second question of what does it mean to analyze, what does it mean to distinguish? Distinguish is being used when the question asks you to distinguish, you must give the difference between 2 things. You must give the difference between 2 things. In other words, while we are busy on forms of ownership, in grade 10 and 11, you have done, oh, no, let me take another one. In HR, you do, one of the steps is recruitment. And very, very important, there are different types of recruitment. The 2 most important types of recruitment process is internal and external. The question can say to you, distinguish between external recruitment and internal recruitment. You see, you look at 2 opposites and you discuss it. When we come to analyze is you break up the concept and you discuss it. You don't mention, you don't name, you discuss with analyze the concept or that what they want you to discuss. Right, so analyze goes in hand with discussion. And very, very important is you must come up with a conclusion. With a conclusion when you analyze. With this in mind, let us go then and record what we have done so far. We have done capacity as a factor, the first one. The second factor was legislation. The third factor was management. The fourth factor that can contribute to the form of ownerships, the success or failure of it, is taxation. And then lastly, we look into, firstly, we look into the capital as a factor that can contribute to the failure or the success of the different forms of ownership. Now, very, very important, before we come to the reasons, every time I showed you the ownership and the ability to acquire capital. In the case of sole trader, the capital is limited to the amount of money the owner can contribute. And this limits the growth and the development of the business. In the case of partnership, capital is contributed, or capital contribution can be raised if more partners get involved. I think you will agree with me. 20 people will contribute more capital than one person. In the case of a closed corporation, the ability to acquire capital is that all members contribute to the capital of the company, of the closed corporation. Contributions of members can be decreased or increased as long as it is approved by the members. Capital contribution limited to 1 to 10 members can contribute to this limits growth and development. More capital can be obtained by increasing the number of members of a closed corporation. But remember, you can't exceed the number of 10. Now that you know how businesses can contribute money, then let us then look into how this capital as a concept, as a factor, can contribute to the success or the failure of the close of form of ownership. In this case, the sole trader, partnership, and the closed corporation. The reasons that we come up for the success in the case of capital as a success factor can be the following. So in the case of the sole trader, he can be carefully spent and managed. It is true, because he, the sole trader, the owner, the sole proprietor, may handle its own money, and he can carefully spend and manage the money. In the case of the partnership, more than one person will contribute the money as a success factor. Capital can be increased, it can be reduced, or withdrawn without legal procedures, as long as we mention this withdrawals in the memorandum of agreement. The sound credit record of the owner of the partners can afford him or her opportunities to get financial assistance for the expansion of the business. Let us look, on the other hand, the contrary, reasons why capital also can contribute to the failure of sole traders, partnerships, and closed corporations. They say to us here that the first reason can be the limited capital contributed by the owner can hamper business growth. It is true. And expansion initiatives. Secondly, it's also difficult to appoint good qualified worker. Let us take you. If you become one day very well educated, you will not be going to work. It will not be your desire to work in a very, very small business who doesn't pay a good salary. You are going to work in a business, in a big business, where the remuneration or the salaries is well above those that closed corporations, sole traders, and partnerships can afford. They say, in the case of a sole trader, he is solely responsible for all the capital. It's true. Some partners can put in money, but assets or expertise only, and this can hamper capital.